Let's see. And to help us focus on the breath, at each time you breathe in, I want you to count 1. 2. 3. With each breath, in-breath, count. When you get to 10, go back to 1. If you go beyond 10, go back to 1. If you forget, go back to 1. Just be here with the breath coming in and coming out. Count, you breathe in, exhale. Nowhere to go, nowhere to be, nothing to think about, just the breath as we breathe in and count and exhale. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. So as you finish your breathing, keep that sense of mindfulness and awareness of the breath going. When we start to move in a moment, if your breathing starts to get ragged or speed up, slow your movement down and move with the breath. You're going to lose my head at various points because I'm just too tall to demonstrate with it all on screen. So bear with me while I move around. We're going to start by standing in a classic pose, Tadasana, the mountain. So I want you to gently bend your knees, rise up slowly. You should have your feet roughly hip distance apart. Consciously pull your body up, metaphorically, as if someone's pulling a string from the top of your head. Hips, headlights, pointing forward. Feet hip distance apart, straight forward. Just spend a moment in the mountain pose. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Head almost as if it's resting on a shelf. Feel rooted to the ground. Strong, tall, and straight. Adjust your feet if you need to. Now going to enter into a classic forward bend. Make sure you put a little bend in your knees to protect your back. You're going to rise up as you breathe in, hands above your head, and as you breathe out, pivot from your hips, bend your knees slightly to protect your back, and roll down to the floor, bend your knees to protect your back, touch the floor, bend your knees as much as you need to have your hands on the floor. And from this position, you're going to put your hands forward into plank, 1 foot back at a time, and just hold that plank for 3 breaths. We're going to lower into a pose called Chaturanga, but if you wish to, rather than lowering down like this, put your knees down first and lower down. Let's just spend a moment there with a slight arch in our back, and then we're going to push up into a cobra. If that's too strenuous, elbows to the floor, Sphinx. So in our Sphinx or our cobra, head looking forward, you should feel a pull on your abdomen, but not too much. We're going to pivot back into child. Again, how low you go depends on how flexible you are. If you can, rest your head on the floor. And we'll take a couple of breaths here. Gently up into tabletop. Hands wide. Give yourself stability. Tuck your toes, or I'm tucking my toes, and we're going to push into a classic downward dog. Again, if you've got a stiff back like me, you'll need to keep your knees bent. So you're pushing up through the arms, lifting the knees, and rolling back onto the toes. You might get your heels on the floor, but probably not. Bend your knees, and we'll hold for 3 breaths. So we're now going to go into a lunge. So take your right leg back, gently swing through in between the arms. Make sure you're stable, toes at the back, on your toes, knee, vertical. We're going to rise up to warrior 1. Back leg should be basically straight. Front leg should be vertical. Slight arch in your back. If it's comfortable, tilt your head. 2 more breaths. We're now going to pivot to warrior 2. Legs should be aligned. Again, you're aiming for a straight back, leg, and a horizontal knee. Arms up, head straight. If you can, breathe sink as you exhale. You should be feeling it here in your glutes, your thigh. Hold for another breath. I'm going to reach forward, pull back, look at my palm, stretching down here, but only as much as is comfortable. Back into warrior 2. I'm going to straighten my front leg. Do something called side angle pose. Keep a bend in your knee to protect your back. Pivot forward. Slowly, slowly spin round. Some of you who are really flexible will get your hands to the floor. I can't do that. Your neck's okay. Tilt upwards to look at your straight arm above. You can hear that my breathing's getting ragged. So let's slow down. Get control of the breath. One more breath here. Bend your knee to protect your back. Up, warrior 2. Now we're going to move into a position of resting our arm on our thigh gently and bringing our arm over. Again, you're looking for a straight back leg, nice vertical front leg, not too much weight here. And we'll breathe for 3. If you're anything like me, you're already starting to get warm. You're doing well. And up we come again. Hands on hips to give you stability. I'm going to turn my back leg. Make sure I'm on a stable platform. Hands to heart center. And if your back's okay, you're going to gently twist and put your elbow just beyond your vertical knee. Give yourselves a lovely lower back twist. We'll hold that for 3. Gently come out and try and pivot round. Don't worry if you need to faff about a bit. Facing head on, headlight straight, good symmetry with your legs, spine straight. Let's take a couple of breaths here. Feet pointing forwards. Your legs should be only so wide that it's not causing you pain in your hips. If it is, just bring them in. Okay. Make sure you're feeling stable. Get control of the breath again. We're going to do a forward bend. Again, protect your back, just put a kink in your knee. Particularly on forward bends, never do anything that's painful, and if you do feel any discomfort, stop. So again, we're going to get control of the breath. We're going to breathe in. As we breathe out, we're going to pivot from our hips. It might help for you to hold your hips there. Pivot forward. So you've got a flat back. If that's okay, drop your hands to the floor. If you need to bend your knees, then do so. Your aim is to have your hands on the floor, directly below your head. Fingertips, probably some of you can get down to your palms, but don't push yourself. And we're going to hold that for 3. Again, try and get hold of your breath. Probably feeling your knees and thighs shaking a bit. So we're going to breathe in as we gently come up, vertebrae by vertebrae. Stand straight. Heel toe or jump to mountain. Feet hip distance apart. Head horizontal. Arms by your side. Let's get control of our breath again. So the bad news is we're going to do that all again on the other side. The good news is you've already done it once. So back to mountain pose. I'm going to face you so you can hear me better this time and you've seen how the poses need to look. Mountain pose, feet hip distance apart. Imagine someone pulling your head from above on a string. Calm, breathing normally. Deep breath in as we go up and back. Breathing out, bend your knees to protect your back, swallow dive down. I'm raising slightly to flat back, hands on knees. Back to plank, gently 1 foot at a time. Either knees, chest, or chaturanga all the way down. Back into child. Spread your hips as much as you need to. Don't push yourself. Hands in front. Forehead on the floor if you can. And we'll take 3 breaths there. Again, it's a chance to regroup and get control of our breathing. Gently up into tabletop. Let's take a moment before our favorite pose. Downward dog, tuck your toes, up we go, and back. Bend your knees to protect your back. 3 breaths here. This time you're going to send the other leg back. In my case, it's the left leg. Forward in between the hands. Warrior 1. Head straight. Straighten that back leg. Vertical knee. Slight arch in the back. 2 more breaths. Breathe in. Turn the back leg. Forward. Warrior 2. Try and keep everything in a straight line. Straighten the front knee. We'll leave a little bend. And back. Trying to move your back hand down towards your knee or calf. 2 more breaths. Straighten the front knee, we'll leave a little kink. Arms shoulder height, forward, gently down. Try and create that horizontal line between your arms. Look up if your neck's okay. You might get down to the floor or your knee or end of your thigh. You might have a slight bend in your knee to protect yourself. 2 more breaths. Bend your knee, up we come. Warrior 2. Going to go forward. Rest our front arm on the knee gently or the thigh, no weight. Arch your arm across. Try and keep a straight line. 2 more breaths. Gently coming back. Pivot your back foot. So you're now facing forward. Headlights straight. Bending the knee. Hands at heart center. Take a breath. Forward for a side lunge, as we did before. Use this as a chance to regroup. Let's try and take 3 slow, deep breaths. Okay, we pivot round again. Feet facing forward. Spine straight as you can. Hands on hips, let's stabilize. We're going to do a forward bend again. So bend your knees to protect your back if you need to. This time, we're going to clasp our hands at the back. Thumbs and palms together. Again, protect your back. Breathe in as you go back a little. Breathe out as you very slowly go forward. Pull your core in. I can't go very far here, so don't worry if you can't either. Bend your knees if you need to. Straight back's about as good as I'm going to get. Try and pull your shoulders back without causing pain or discomfort. Take 2 more breaths here. Bend your knees to protect your back. Up we come. Hands to heart center. Heel toe in. Or just jump. So this mat's not helping me because it moves. And I've got to move around. So, mountain pose. Regroup. 3 slow breaths. Somebody's pulling your head up on a string. You're perfectly straight. Headlights straight. Feet forward. Feel rooted to the ground. So we're going to go again. Mountain pose. Breathe in, arms up and back. Fold forward, bend your knees to protect your back. You know where we're going. It's plank. 2, if that's too difficult now, just put your knees on the floor, that's fine. Either chaturanga, straight down, or knees, chest, chin. Upward dog, child. 2 breaths here. Tabletop. Tuck your toes. Back into downward dog. Up and roll. Be gentle with yourself. Right. We're going to now lift our right leg back, straight back. It's going to come forward in between our arms while staying off the floor. If that's too tricky, take your legs down so your knees on the floor and bring it forward like that. 3 times in between your arms. Upper body shouldn't move. Pause. We're going to do the same again, either with our downward dog or with our knee on the floor to the outer arm, the outer elbow. Breathe out each time you go forward. 3 times on the right, 3 times on the left. You need a rest. Just come down for a moment. We're going to repeat on the other side, either with our knee on the floor, 3 times in the middle, in line with the breath, breathing out as you come in, or downward dog. Breathing in as you go back, breathing out as you come forward. Other elbow. And down we come. Need a rest, that's tiring. Child, hips wide, head down. Take 3 more long breaths here to recover. That's one of the toughest things we'll do. Okay. So, come into a seated position. Feet on the floor. Back straight as you can. Pull yourself forward if you need to with your elbows. We're now going to do some side stretches, and then we'll do the final, more challenging pose, the boat, but there are variations I'll talk you through. So, glutes on the floor, you'll feel should feel your bum bones anchoring you. We're just going to roll back. So we've got a flat back on the floor to keep our back safe. Feet on the floor. You should be able to touch your heels with your fingertips. You're going to stretch your arms out to form a cross. Then breathe in and let your knees drop to the right. Twist your head the other way if your neck's fine. See if your knees can get to the floor. Fine if they can't. And we'll hold for 3 long breaths. You might feel a click or a clunk in your back. That's perfectly normal. Breathe in, knees come up. Pause. Breathe out. Breathe in. Go down on the other side as you breathe out. Different sides may feel different, tighter or looser. 3 breaths here. Breathe in, up we come. Just lift yourself up onto your shoulders or hands, still in that seated position. We're now going to do the boat, which can be quite challenging. So you can either lift one foot up off the floor, excuse my horrible feet, hold it there for 3, or you could do both feet, hold it for 3, or stretch them fully out for 3. So with me, in your own time, either 1, 2, or straight out for 3 breaths. So make sure you're solid. Breathe in and stretch. Hold for 3. And down. Or forward just to stretch your back in response. We're going to do that 2 more times. So either 1 or 2 bent or straight. 3 breaths. Down. Breathe out. And final time. This is as hard as it gets. Nearly done. 3 breaths. And down. Well done. So to counter that, flat back, put your knees in. We're going to hold for 5 breaths here. If you want to, you can wrap your arms around your knees, head on the floor. Make sure your back is flat on the ground. If you want to rock a little bit side to side, that's fine. So another couple of breaths here. So we're going to come into a seated position. One way you can do it is rocking forward, which is good for the spine. Seated position. Cross-legged if that works for you. And let's just regain our breath. A very simple twist. So lift your left arm, take your right arm back behind you, left arm, left hand onto right knee, and gently twist. You'll feel this in the shoulders and the lower back. Shouldn't be too strenuous. Hold it for 3. Head up. Going forward again. Hands on knees. Right arm up. Breathe in. Slowly twist, breathe out. Right hand on left knee. Head up, head tilted round if you can. For 3. Back we come. Let's take a couple more breaths just to get control. Nearly there. So come forward onto your knees. If your knees hurt, you can put a cushion or a blanket. You've got your toes curled. So imagine you're pivoting like this. So you can either go back and hold for 5 like that, or if you feel your back stronger, wheel your arms around so your hands are on top of your heels, and you can arch like that. So either way, come back, 5 breaths. And forward again. Down we go. Into child. Okay. One more pose before we finish with the balance, and then we'll do a short relaxation. So, tabletop, tuck the toes, downward dog, and then I want you to either hop or walk your feet forward into the squat position. Ideally, your heels are on the floor, but maybe they're not. Go as far as you can. You might only get to there, or you might get to there. And we'll take, this is really great for your hips, particularly if you're a bloke. See if you can do 5 breaths, but you might only be there. Okay, that's fine. Feel the burn here. If it gets too much, just stop. Okay? So for people who've done a bit of yoga, you can try the crow. If you've not done it before, just simply plant your hands on the floor and tilt. Maybe lift one foot off, get the sense of the balance, then the other. If you want to give it a go, you really, really must be careful. And you balance your knees on your elbows for 5. Come down safely, as ever, back into child. Well done. So, we're going to finish with a classic balance and then a 5-minute relaxation to give you time to grab a cup of tea or whatever it is before the 9 o'clock sessions. So, we're going to do the tree. There are 3 modifications here. You're going to not see my head, but basically, let's get ourselves into mountain pose, get control of our breath, feet hip distance apart. We're going to balance. So put our weight into our right leg. You can either go here with your foot on the floor, if you want to, foot on your calf, or foot into the pelvic area, Hands at heart center. Try and straighten your back as much as you can. Head as if resting on a shelf. Don't worry if you wobble. Perfectly normal. Need to come down, come down. And we'll take 3 good breaths here. With control, if you can, gently lower your left leg, mountain, and get ready to do it on the other side. Weight in your left leg, probably your right on your screen, but either way, the other side, either here, here, on the calf, not the knee, or fully up, there. Hands at heart center. Feel the strength, feel the symmetry. Pull your core in, pull your spine up and be straight. 2 more breaths. And down we go. Mountain. Down onto the floor for a final inversion. Before a quick relaxation, down we go. Bend your knees. Back into plank. This time just go for knees, chest, chin. Make it easy. We'll just go into a cobra rather than a full upward dog. Child. And then swing your feet round. And a simple bridge. Again, heels and fingertips should be touching back absolutely straight. And we're going to lift in a minute and hold for 3. What I want you to think about is your spine like a bicycle chain, lifting 1 vertebrae at a time up and 1 vertebrae at a time coming down. So as you breathe in slowly, raise that chain of your spine. Roll your shoulders under if you can. And let's hold that for 3 breaths. Take a deep breath in. And slowly roll that spine down again. And straighten out your legs. Just rest there a minute. So well done. That's the physical practice. I'm now just going to build on that for 3 or 4 minutes with a relaxation, which you've absolutely earned. So find a comfortable seated position or lie down. If it feels okay, close your eyes. If you just listen to my voice and let the relaxation take place. In a moment, I'm going to lead you through a brief relaxation. I'll start it with a chime and end it with a chime, and we're finished. So. Close your eyes. Imagine you're on a beach, a deserted beach, your favourite beach. Maybe you've been there before, maybe it only exists in your mind. Feel the soft sand in your toes. Feel the cool breeze on your face. Feel the warmth of the sun. Hear the gentle sound of the waves rolling onto the beach. You're walking in the sand. You're looking at the sea. You're enjoying the warmth of the sun on your face and the feeling of the soft sand under your toes. Gently walk along the deserted beach. Nobody to see, nobody to talk to, nowhere to go, just to be here on the sand by the sea. Feel the breeze in your hair. Look out to the ocean. Notice the sunshine sparkling on the top of the gentle waves. Hear the soft sound of the water lapping on the sand as the waves roll in. Look at the blue sky. Look at the soft wisps of cloud. Feel the softness of the sand underneath your feet. This is your beach. Nowhere to go, nowhere to be. Just here on your beach, with the sun, the sand, the sea, and the breeze. Watch the sunlight gently flickering on the waves. Feel the warmth of the sun on your face. Feel the gentle breeze brushing your skin. Feel the soft, damp sand under your feet. Nowhere to go, nowhere to be. This is your beach. You can visit it anytime. Just you with the sun, the sea, the sand, and the breeze. So, welcome back. Thank you all for taking part. I was really, really nervous about that. I hope it was okay. I hope you could hear me. I hope it made sense. But most of all, I hope it made you feel calm and relaxed. Namaste.